Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again, and we've got a great matchup here. I'm playing Black Yellow Luffy, and I'm up against my man Chance playing Perona. But I wanted to mention before we get into the match here that I will be in North Carolina this Saturday. Yeah, this Saturday and this Friday for the store regional event that's going to be going on at, I believe it's Atomic Empire. I could be wrong, but I believe the store name is Atomic Empire, if I'm not mistaken. But if you happen to be in North Carolina and you're attending the event, you know, come say what's up. And if not, then, you know, hopefully I'll see you at Nationals or something of the sorts. But we get the game started, and I got the GARP down. I go ahead and just pick up the 5-cost Luffy here. I know that Perona is a very annoying deck to deal with sometimes, with all of the, you know, all of the different like draw power effects that they have, as well as Belmir. Belmir is something that I kind of didn't respect too much at the very beginning of the match, and then it slowly started to, you know, kind of become apparent to me that this card's a bit of a problem. Just tapping it and giving a -1 to one of my characters, and then also simultaneously giving a +1000 to one of his own characters. So I will go ahead and rest one of them though, going ahead and using the Flampe. I draw into the Sabo as well as the 5-cost Sabo, so pretty sick. I'm okay with that, all things considered. Definitely wanted to have my 5-cost Sabo to start the game, but we draw into it naturally. And then maybe just giving him another target with the Flampe. I'm fine with, you know, not getting to 0 life too quickly in this matchup. I know that a lot of my cards more than likely will get removed anyways. Getting to 2 kind of is that sweet spot because we do have Ace as well as Luffy in hand, prepared and ready to use. But he is going to take out the Flampe. I have a pretty good trash setup now for a Moria play if I don't end up getting, you know, too like low enough early. So I like having these. I like having at least like Flampe and Garp in trash, as well as why am I forgetting the name of it? The Emporio Ivankov. Having that in trash for a Moria play is also really, really nice on like 10 Dawn, because it allows me to not only potentially get to 0, but also just to like set up something in the bottom or top of my life with like a 5-cost to be able to play out with one of the kids. But I go ahead and pick up another Flampe. I decide to go and use that card just to see if I can get you know, to 2, and then see if he'll let the Sabo die, and he does, and he's got a good amount of cards in hand. He's got like if I'm not mistaken, like 6 or 7 cards in hand at the time. So letting that go felt really good. It makes me feel like he doesn't have like any counter power whatsoever just to start this match off. We are going to see the tap on the Flampe here, so everything is rested. But he has multiple ways that he can get rid of this Ace, but he actually decides to take the tap back. He was like, you know what, maybe the -1 and not having to rest Belmir is a little bit better. Yet again, this is just, you know, my friend and I playing at locals, so it's nothing serious if we want to take something back. But he is going to use Belmir here to go +1 onto the Perona, as well as -1 onto my Ace. I will go ahead and counter this out, just getting one of the 5-cost Luffys into trash, which is very useful. And I'm like already preemptively lifting it up. Yeah, because there's the Hiyori into the Ryuma to draw a card right there. Leaving him with 2 Dawn. No Otamas to put down, so it's a fairly good for us, you know, not having to deal with that too early into this match. I know that Ryuma is a pretty annoying card. I do have Luffy to play down if I want to remove it, but I just want that Belmir gone, so I'll go ahead and use my Flampe, knowing that it'll probably just get rested next turn anyways. I'm going to swing 7 into life, and then I think we're just going to play down the Rocket Luffy. We get some card draw. Oh, am I actually just going to go starter deck Luffy? Okay, I like this. I'm okay with it. Tough part is, though, is that putting this card down and not using leader effect, it's more than likely just going to get tapped if he has some sort of reduction. He could hit me with like an 8-cost Moria here, but he does start with the Otama picking up, what is that? You can be my samurai, but actually changes. Nope, decides to go with the Ryuma instead. I think the Ryuma for the removal is just super solid, all things considered. But Sabo is even better. Trashes the Borsalino and goes ahead and gets rid of my 5-cost. And I was really hoping to set up that turn, but in retrospect, it's actually kind of nice that I saved the 5-cost Luffy, because now I do have an Ice Age Luffy play to, you know, make something out of dealing with this Sabo. I also need to get to 0 in the near future, at least. I don't believe I have anything to set up my life. Yeah, I don't have like a Hiyori, unfortunately, to set up for like a, you know, playing down a Sabo as well as this Ice Age play. But yeah, I think that's going to be my play, is I'm just going to go ahead and use Ice Age onto the Sabo. I get Luffy down for 5, and now just KOing that, I get to draw a card, and look at that, as if it was like, you know, I was asking the gods for what I could potentially get right here. I get exactly what I was looking for. Hiyori definitely helps. So 2 for that. I'm going to go ahead and take my top life and put Sabo back. I did end up picking up a 5-cost Luffy there. More than likely, very easy to cycle out with the Sabo. So I bring leader up to 7, and he's at 2 life, so it's actually pretty solid for us, even though he does have quite a bit of draw power in hand. But I cycle out the 1-cost event, don't really need it, and I'm considering whether I should be keeping Ice Age, but I do, just in case he hits me with like another Moria or potentially like another Sabo or something of the sorts. But I can't imagine he'll be playing Sabo the following turn, just because my Sabo is going to be protecting my board. I'll go 7 to life here. I can't imagine he's going to go down to 1. So, oh shoot, he just lives that life. All right, he just lives that life. He's got a lot of cards in hand, and I think that maybe I'm just going based off of previous information here. Swinging 7 might connect, just because, you know, I was swinging 7 into a 6K and he didn't give me a 2K. I felt pretty good about that. But once he gets that draw power going with, you know, a lot of his searchers like Momo, as well as potentially You Can Be My Samurai, it is going to be pretty interesting to see whether I can kind of outvalue him. But he hits me with the Suru here, lowering down my Sabo. You Can Be My Samurai does get the 2-card draw here, which is really solid for my opponent. I think that card is absolutely insane in Perona right now. I love the fact that they get usefulness out of their 1-costs by playing them to the board, and then get a secondary useful, you know, secondary use out of it, you know, just playing the rest. But he's got so much Dawn left. He's got seven Dawn left, if I'm not mistaken. So I know that he is just swinging 7, I believe, into my life. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain he was swinging 7 to life here. And I'm just looking at my hand, thinking about what I need for the following turn. I'd really like to go to 0 here, but I'm counting out my counter, and I know that I can't. Yeah, I can't take that, unfortunately, because then I'm just looking at a 12K. And he plays this out well, gets another 7 into Sabo, which forces a 2K out of my hand, and I do end up having to deal with this 5-cost Sabo afterwards. My hand is pretty abysmal. I don't have I don't have like a great way to get to 0 life, but I don't have a bad way to get to 0 life as well, which is really nice. Using the Moria, I have the Flampe and Trash, and then I also would still have 2 Dawn to set back up my life, and, you know, off of the Moria, play out a 2-cost either Luffy or Sabo here. And I'm just trying to decide which one is the best. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I'd take a little bit of time on this turn, and I actually forget that he had just played Sabo. So, you know, kind of lucky that we're playing locally and just, you know, with friends, because I think I end up making a pretty big mistake that would have cost me pretty dearly if it was, you know, if this was like an actual regional or treasure cup tournament. And I could be wrong, but I feel like I just remember this exact moment. So I do go 8 for the Moria. I go ahead and bring out 1 Flampe, and I believe, yeah, I believe that I bring out the Luffy. And I definitely did this incorrectly. Flampe is way more useful to me active for the following turn, since Luffy is just going to get trashed anyways. Flampe being able to attack into Suru or Otama would just be great for me. I don't want to leave those on the board for him to just continuously get value out of yeah, for him to continuously get value out of the You Can Be My Samurai. I'm deciding what I want to trash for this. I know that Ace looks very tempting, but I also think that Ice Age isn't really going to do too much for me for the rest of the game, so that's why I'm kind of having a hard time on deciding which one I want to do. I know that I have the Ace in hand and not in trash, so Ace is actually not as useful to me, but I go ahead and get out the Rocket Luffy, and I absolutely mess this up. And you know what? It is what it is. I realized, like, oh, I just popped Ryuma, and you're protected by Sabo. So I am still going to do it, though. I kind of want to get the card draw, and lucky for us, we do draw into a 2k counter. Pretty happy about that. And I'll go ahead and I think swing 9 into the Ryuma. I don't hate it, but I think we could have just went life there, if I'm being honest, and probably try and go for game the following turn. But my other mistake that I made this turn was not swinging Hiyori, and I think I ended up pointing that out to my opponent. I was like, oh my gosh, I did not swing Hiyori into Otama or Suru, so if he just has another You Can Be My Samurai, it's just free value. I could have either gotten a card out of hand, or I could have potentially gotten one of them off the board, which would have, you know, stopped that free value. It's a little, you know, a little unfortunate. I just, small mistakes that can add up. And look at that. You Could Be My Samurai. And I pointed out, I point out the Hiyori. I'm like, oh, I should have attacked with it. What am I doing? And I think I just overthought that turn a little bit too much. But You Could Be My Samurai, picking him up 2 cards. And now we are going to see a Moria coming down. I don't think Moria is going to be extremely impactful here, but it's pretty solid, all things considered. He is going to get the Hiyori rested, and then he's going to get one other character out active. Just trying to think of what that's going to be. Oh, I love this play, actually. He's going to get the Belmir. More than likely tap Belmir first. Yep, bringing down the Sabo, using leader effect to rest it, and then going up by 1. So, yep, now he's resting my Sabo. Does use the Hiyori to get out the Ryuma. And now, not that, yeah, actually, I still think this is fine, because he's still got 7 that he can swing into my life and pressure a card out of hand, but he does decide to just go for the, Flampe, which is totally fair. You know, going for Flampe here basically means, like, hey, I'm putting you on, like, having the ability to get rid of that ace, and also, you know, I don't really need the card out of hand, but he just really wants me to get rid of the ace. And I'm trying to think of what way I want to go about doing that. I have the 2-cost ace in hand, and then I can pump back up my life yet again. But I also could do... no, actually, I can't do that. I was going to say I could do Moria, but I don't have ace in trash. And I can't get ace into trash unless I use my leader effect, which requires me to be at 0. So, it's looking as though I'm going to have to do it. And it looks, I finally decide, I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm definitely swinging Hiyori this time. We're not going to forget. I think I might also be considering going for game, but he has a ton of cards in hand. I think that's why I'm kind of mulling through this. I'm like, all right, I could use the Ice Age 5-cost Luffy to remove the Moria or the Sabo. And if I remove the Sabo, I can try and go for game. If I remove the Moria, then I'm playing for the turn afterwards. I also just have the Rush Ace just to see how things go. And I don't think that would have been that bad, is to just play out Rush Ace first. you know, using the 2 cost, and then, you know, see what he does against the 7k swing. If he takes the 7k swing, you know, then we obviously have a pretty solid play. But if not, then we pivot and we change a little bit. So I'm not entirely sure how I end up playing this out, but we're kind of talking about it. We're saying like, all right, you know, this is what I'm going to go for. But maybe I do end up going this route. You know, I do end up just going, you know, hey, let's test the waters first. Want to see what's up. So I do test with a little 7k check. I want to see, you know, does he have any of the 0 cost events in hand? Does he have the 2k 1k? And he does. It looks like it was a Momo and a 2k. Didn't catch what the 2k was exactly, but I also swing 9 into life. If he gives me a Sabo block here, then I think the Rocket Luffy just feels super free for us. Being able to do that and still get off leader effect to set myself up with 2 life is absolutely fantastic. So I'm kind of just testing the waters right now. I want to see how my opponent reacts, and depending on how he reacts, you know, I can play around that. And that's what I love most about this deck is, you know, the sequencing is probably the hardest part. Of it is, you know, which order should I be doing things? Should I be using my leader effect? Should I be using Moria first? Should I be attacking, then leader effect, then Moria, or vice versa? There's so many different avenues that, you know, I think playing optimally with this deck is just really fun because it's challenging on some turns, and other turns it's super straightforward. But he does give me the block, which is amazing. So now I know that I for sure am going to be doing this play. I got the Ice Age. Whoa, little camera action there, unfortunately. 5 cost Luffy does take out the Moria. I draw into another 5 cost Luffy, and now I can pretty much get him to excuse me, get him to 0 life. I don't know if I should be being greedy here and keeping the Moria or not, but I do just trash 2 and add 2 to life. I think I'm perfectly fine being greedy here, simply because of the fact that my opponent's only got 3 potential swings this turn. To try and go for a game is going to be very, very difficult. He does raise up Ryuma by 1 and brings my ace down to a 4 cost. He is just going to swing 7 into ace. I'm considering whether this is really worth dedicating Dawn to or not. I think it might be, simply because if he does hit me with like a 10 cost Ophi, then I would at least potentially have 1 swing the following turn. But I ended up giving him a Flampe, which was kind of interesting. I really wanted to keep Luffy for a blocker and then Sabo to play out my blocker from life. I mean, we still had Moria, so I don't really know why I was kind of prioritizing these a little more than a 2k counter per se, but it is what it is. I think he still could just swing 5 into the Hiyori and then go 10 cost Ophi. But yet again, I don't know if he's even running 10 cost Ophi in this list. You know, it might not be a 10 cost Ophi Perona, you know. But I'm considering which card I need to be giving him. I do end up giving him Rocket Luffy here. And he's going to play out the Moria. Does he have a way to defend himself? Borsalino's pretty solid, but I just don't think it's going to get there. He's got the Izo 2k off the Otama, but I get to draw for turn now. I have a blocker to set up for the following turn. I have Moria to use if I want. I'm just going to swing 9 to life. You know, he's got plenty of cards in hand, but at the same time, like, I have all this Dawn and multiple swings. We're just going to get through it. So it gives me 2 2Ks and a 1K right here. Deciding whether I want to go... I'm really honestly just deciding whether I want to go 8 or 9, but I think this is fine, but I end up going 11, or not 8 or 9, excuse me, 9 or 11. I end up going 11. I think this is fine, but I do think that 9 was actually just perfect, because I still could have used Moria to get back to the boys and then bring my leader up to a 9K yet again, set myself up for some blocks and whatnot. I would have been able to get out of the attacks, but I am just going to go Sabo, though, play defensively, so this feels fine. Yep, I can cycle out a couple of cards, and, Now I can swing another 11, have a blocker set up for the following turn, and we end up winning. It was very, very close. He had enough exactly to get to 11. So his top deck would have been Suru, which actually would have been very interesting because he would have been able to rest my Sabo and then try and go for game through Moria, Ryuma, as well as leader. And since I'm only a 7k leader, I think he actually would have ended up getting it. So super close there at the end. I ended up winning by 1k, but I thought this was a really solid match. But yeah, let me know what you guys' thoughts are. And if you are going to be in North Carolina, you know, come and say what's up. I hope to see you guys out there on Saturday. Other than that, I will catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.